lovely humans, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a home decor haul, which if you don't know, I am obsessed with like buying stuff for my house. But my pocketbook, do people still use the term pocketbook? I'm using it now. My pocketbook doesn't always love it when I go shopping for home decor. So when I buy stuff, I have to make sure it's something I really, really like. And I gotta tell you, I found some real gems this week. I went to a place called Granny's Attic, which is an antique store, and I'm obsessed with that place. It has so many shops, so many great things. And then afterwards, I went to Target because I just can't help myself. And I have to say that Project 62 and Opal House are really stepping up their game right now, folks, and I'm so excited to share with you some of the things that I got. And it's important to note that I am recognizing the fact that I'm a collector of like the same kinds of things. I always buy the same kinds of things. I don't know why, it's just what I'm drawn to. Do I have some of these things already in my house? Yes. Is that gonna stop me from buying more? No! So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. So first I'm gonna go over all the stuff that I picked up at the antique store, and then I'm gonna go over the Target stuff. The first thing that I found, like within seconds of going into the antique store, is this bad boy. Look at him! Isn't he so beautiful? I don't know why it's a he, but he is. It is this gorgeous bottle that is like the size of my torso, easily. It's just ginormous, and it was $35. I love collecting glass bottles because I think they make such cool, like almost architectural statements without being too bold. Does that make sense? Because it's not like it's a piece of artwork that has a lot of color to it, but it just adds texture to space. And I'm a big fan of adding texture. I'm gonna say the word texture like 72 times in this video. So someone keep track so we can figure out how many times I say the word texture, texture, texture. But I love this kind of thing to stick in a corner or on top of a table because it adds so much dimension to a space. And I like buying vintage bottles as opposed to new ones because I just think there's so much more character. I don't mind when they're a little dirty. I don't mind when they've got some, marks and scratches on them. I think that adds to the overall appeal of them. This one says Crisa on the bottom. That's the maker's mark. But other than that, it's pretty simple. A lot of the glass bottles I have tend to have like a greenish or bluish tint to them, so I was really excited to find one that's mostly clear because it's just different than what I already own. So that was my justification for buying this, is I don't have a lot of clear glass bottles. So that works, right? I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna style this, but more than likely I will stick it in a corner and drape some sea glass beads over it because it's what I do. The next thing that I got is this monstrosity of a cutting board slash breadboard. I collect the cutting boards. I just love how they look when there's a bunch of them all layered together. I don't know if you guys saw, but like, I don't know how long ago it was. There was this tweet that went out about Kate Hudson and how many breadboards and cutting boards she owned. And everyone was like, whatever you do, don't buy her cutting board. And I'm like, she's goals and I want to be like her. So while I already have a collection of cutting boards, I couldn't help myself and had to grab this one because I think it'll look really nice behind all of the other ones that I currently have. It has these great cutting marks already. I like the scuffs. I like the color variation. I love that you can see the detail in the grain of wood. And I love these straps on the back. Is that what we're calling them? We'll call them straps. Whatever, the connector pieces to hold the wood together. Just so good at describing stuff. But, let's one more to the collection. Not to mention, this is extremely lightweight. So while we probably won't be using this for cutting anything on, and it's just gonna sit there and look pretty, my husband actually took out one of my vintage cutting boards and cut pizza on it, and I lost my mind. So this is a no cutting board. This is just gonna be here as art, and for nothing else, which is always a wise investment. Right? Just buy a cutting board that you can't cut on. And you're gonna start to notice a pattern here. I buy a lot of things in that terracotta, orangey toned, I don't know, like, it's just, that's the color I use a lot. I don't use it literally, like I don't have a lot of terracotta colored blankets or pillows, but I like to incorporate it in, you guessed it, textures around the house to add, I think, just another layer to my style. The next item that I got is this super cute little cloche. It's a little bell jar with a wood base, and I don't know what I'm going to use this for. This is like probably the least practical purchase because it's not tall enough to put a plant under. And I was like, oh, I'll put a bar of soap in there. And then I was like, that's dumb because people actually use bars of soap, and then there's going to be water all over it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'll find some sort of trinket. I always do. Where there's a will, there's a way. And this one's technically not an antique, but I bought it from an antique store, so whatever. And I like using stuff like this because since it's so low profile, but like wider, it's great to mix with other taller pieces. So again, what am I going to put in this? I don't know. Am I going to figure it out? Yeah. And until then, it's just going to sit right here, looking real cute. The next item that I got is that bad boy right there. This is delicious. It was $25. I love ladders. I'm probably going to stick that in a corner, maybe drape a blanket from it, maybe hang some plants from it. I'm not sure, but I think that they are just such like an easy thing to use to dress up a space. I don't know if you guys saw my top 10 houseplants video, but I obviously already have a very large ladder, but I don't have a medium-sized ladder, so that was my justification for buying that. It's super lightweight. I like that it has the shelf to it because if I am going to put a plant on it, that seems more practical than like resting it on the rungs. So I'll have to find a spot for it. I don't have one yet, but I am crafty when it comes to finding a way to make antiques work in my home. The next item on my list is this beautiful milking stool. I could not pass this up. And in fact, when I went antiquing, I was looking specifically for a stool because I want to use it as a plant stand. You know, normal plant stands aren't super attractive. I mean, they're not awful, but I like coming up with a unique way of displaying pieces, and this totally fit that bill. I'm pretty sure it's Chinese elm. Why do I know that? Because I used to work in like imported furniture, so you're welcome. But it's really lightweight. Not that that matters because I'm just going to stick it in the corner. It's not going to move around a lot. So, but there's just more information about the piece. And I'm assuming this was a milking stool because it has 3 legs. And that's how they used to make milking stools, because this wouldn't tip over as easily as something with 4 legs, or completely useless information. I'm really good at this. And I think the reason I was drawn to this the most is I just love the patina on it. I love the age. I love the different color variations within the wood. So while this is a little bit more pale of a wood tone than I normally find myself drawn to, I think it'll make a nice contrast to some of the other pieces that I already have. So I like the lighter tone wood with some of the richer, orangier woods that I have. And I may or may not have picked up a plant to put on it. I mean, you can't, like, I was out shopping. At this point, you should know me well enough to know that I really like my plants. And I can't be expected to go out shopping and not buy more. I guess I probably could be expected to do that, but I couldn't help myself. So this is a Sansevieria, I think Laurenti, and the common name is snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. They're just so easy to take care of. They don't require a ton of light, but they thrive better with light. They don't require a ton of water. And I think they make a really cool statement. But this is not a plant haul, Jamie, so let's focus on the stool at hand. So I'm going to plunk this in a corner, pop a plant on it. It may be that Sansevieria, or maybe another one, or maybe I'll have to go out and find a special plant just to go on top of this. The final item that I got from the antique store is something of a antique unicorn for me. Every time I see one of these in someone's home, I'm like, I need it. I need it in my life. And I hadn't taken the plunge to purchase one yet, and I found one. And I'm so excited. It's also really heavy, so be prepared for some awkward weightlifting noises. Okay? Okay. This was a bad idea. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Isn't it beautiful? I finally got a typewriter. I can officially call myself a hipster because I finally got my hands on one of these. I'm going to keep it right here because holding it up is really, really hard. But I will cut to this in a different shot so you can actually see it instead of just seeing the top part of it. Why did I want a typewriter? I don't know, because it's a typewriter and it's so flipping cool. I like that it's black and beefy because it adds a nice weight visually. So, yeah, it's typewriter. What else can you say about a typewriter? Probably can't use it. Probably gonna sit there. Probably just gonna keep looking like its fresh, beautiful self. And I'm on board with that. And now, moving on to my Target purchases, because like I said, they've been stepping up their home decor game, and while I prefer to buy used items, whether it be from Goodwill or a thrift store or even an antique store, sometimes I like to pop in some fresh stuff just to mix things up a little bit, you know? So the first thing I got from Target are these Cork Baskets. Am I going to use them as baskets? No. You can probably guess what I'm going to use them for, though. Plant covers! I'm notorious for not repotting my plants unless I absolutely have to, so they come in these really gross, kind of ugly-looking growers pots. So I do everything I can to cover that up. But sometimes I get a little sick of terracotta or like ceramic pots, and I like to mix it up a little bit. And it's cork. Like, what the heck? I need a cork basket. Who doesn't need a cork basket? My curl is literally hugging my chin. So I picked up 2 of these. There's one in this size and one in this size. This was $9.99 and this one's $14.99. I just think it's another opportunity to take something that would be, take a normal object and elevate it a little bit. So I don't know which plant I'm gonna put in this one. Maybe I'll have to buy a new one. But I also think a snake plant could look really cool in this. Or maybe like one of my fiddle leaf figs. I don't know. Jury's still out on that one. Don't worry, we'll find a plant for it. I know you were worried, but don't worry. I will figure it out. The next item that I got is this beautiful little number. That has stuff all over it. Okay. It is this little, they call it a holder, from the Hearth and Hand collection at Target. And I really wanted to pick this up specifically because our remotes. I don't like when remotes are sitting out. I like them to have a location to be hidden in, and I like to make sure that location is cute. And right now we have a bin, or like a little wooden box for our remotes, and I'm just not loving it. It's kind of shabby chic. It doesn't really fit my style. It was a hand-me-down, and I wanted to upgrade it a little bit. It's got a little divider in it for something smaller, and then a little bit of a bigger spot for it. And I already checked and my remotes do fit, which is good. Otherwise this would have been kind of silly purchase. But I like that it's kind of an ivory color. It's not too bold, doesn't stand out too much, but again, adds texture to a space. And it's got this super sweet detailing in like on the like a little ribboning of detail at the bottom, which again adds texture. And the last thing that I got is actually hopefully going to be for toy storage. Right now, like we have like a crate from Michael's with a bunch of toys for the baby downstairs, and I just think it's a complete eyesore, and I think it's too big. There's too many toys in it. It gets too cluttered, so I wanted something that was a little bit smaller and didn't hold as much, but and had like a nice shallow bottom to it, so Silas could actually like pick through and find the toys that he wants to play with instead of just dumping them all out because he's overwhelmed with how many things are in there. So I got this. Look at him. Everyone and their mother is grabbing these, and I don't care. I'm basic. I'm jumping on that bandwagon. It is a little llama. I think he's a llama. Are you a llama? Are you an alpaca? Doesn't say. But this is a water hyacinth llama alpaca basket, and I picked it out because it's got a nice shallow depth to it. I think it'll be a lot cuter than our current toy setup is, and I was really excited about it. And I was telling my husband about it, and then he was like, you know your son is going to stand in there, right? So hopefully it'll work out for toy storage, but if it doesn't, I think we'll be able to figure something out, don't you? Also, this plant's new too, so oops. So that's all we have for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's home decor haul. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, if you want me to go antiquing more, I mean, just like, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know which one was your favorite, because right now I'm kind of torn between the glass bottle, maybe the typewriter, but those cork baskets I am vibing with, and the stool. I'm gonna have so much fun going to play with all these things and find spots for all of them because they're real cute. Okay. Also, tell me what your antique unicorn is, because I feel like one of mine was a typewriter and another one would have to be like a tufted velvet or leather couch. Whew. I want one of those so bad, but we're just not in the place in life right now to invest in an antique couch because toddlers. So that's gonna be a long-term unicorn. That unicorn is gonna remain a unicorn for a very long time, but I'm glad I got my typewriter in the meantime because it is gorgeous. Tell me your antique unicorn in the comments below and your favorite item from today's haul. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hang out for more lifestyle content because, I don't know, because you want to. Okay. Bye!